Put in the pound. We're kicking it in the kennel, breaking down last night's game against Gonzaga.
Fan frenzy. This BYU fanatic will go anywhere to get his Cougar sports fix.
Marketing Madness. We'll give you a look behind the scenes at the people who sell the sizzle for all things BYU. I'm Emmanuel Nah.
And I'm Brooke Davis. Let's tip off. It's time for the...
Brooke, it's good to have you on the desk today.
Good to be back.
You know, I'm not going to lie, I lost a lot of sleep watching the Cougars play last night, but I'm not going to lie, it's always good to see the Cougars on ESPN.
Absolutely, and you know, if the game wasn't satisfying, at least we all got to see John Stockton on TV
true.
At least a million times.
That's true. Probably brought back some good memories for most.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We sent a crew to Spokane to bring us the best and the worst from the sidelines of the kennel. CougTube Sports Director Brianna Carr begins our coverage. Brianna?
That's right, guys. I'm here in the McCarthy Athletic Center where the game wasn't really pretty last night, but that's bound to happen when both teams had 11-3 identical conference records. BYU got put in the dog pound straight from the get-go. An injured Noah Hartsock left the game after only 7 minutes on the court, never to return again. And even though the Cougars held Gonzaga to 35% shooting, BYU couldn't seem to take advantage. In the second half, BYU's only big numbers were in turnovers and fouls. Brandon Davies tried to get the Cougars up on the board, but it wasn't enough. This monster Gonzaga slam with a little more than 2 minutes left in the game sealed the deal. And as they might say in Spokane, it ain't over until the Gonzaga nuns dance. Cougars leave leashed and with a loss. Final score, Bulldogs 4, Cougars 63. I'm joined here with CougTube reporter Sean Gordon breaking down the game for us. Sean, it wasn't pretty.
No, in fact, when you shoot almost twice as many shots, force 7 more turnovers, and win the rebound battle, you'd expect to win. But I think BYU found out just how difficult it is to win without Noah Hartsock. In the time that Hartsock did play, he was ineffective. He didn't take a single shot, and he only finished the game with 1 rebound, 1 turnover, and 1 personal foul. The defense played well throughout, though, holding Gonzaga to 36% shooting in the first half and 39% throughout the game. In fact, they only allowed 13 shots in the second half and forced 20 Bulldog turnovers. But Gonzaga made up for it at the free throw line, getting there 44 times and making 82% of their shots. Now, as good as they were on the defensive side, they were just as bad on the offensive side. They shot an abysmal 25% in the first half and finished with a final line of 31% from the field, 21% from beyond the arc, and 56% from the free throw line. Matt Carlino had a hot start and kept BYU in the game in the first half, and Davies had a monster second half, helping the Cougars trim the Gonzaga lead from 17-7. But neither player could put together a complete game, and there was not much help from the supporting cast. And ultimately, the Bulldogs made the shots when they needed to, and that's how they escaped with the home win against BYU. With this loss, the best BYU can do is 3rd place in the West Coast Conference, but luckily with Loyola Marymount's loss, that 3rd place is pretty much secure if we take care of business against Portland tomorrow. Now, what's going to take the big hit is our at-large chances into the big dance. I mean, we're going to either have to make a deep run into the West Coast Conference tournament or win it to be able to go to the tourney this year.
Well, one thing's for sure, if we do make it to the big dance, one Cougar groupie will be marching along with the madness. CougTube reporter Clint Martinson, you met him, right? What makes him different than any other Cougar fan?
Well, Brianna, he is willing to go the distance literally. He takes off work days. He uses all of his sick days. He's there from tip-off to takedown.
Ticket stubs continue to add to the collage on the wall. As they pile up, so do the memories for one BYU grad with an undying passion for Cougar sports. Preston Norton teams up with his mom and occasionally friends to follow BYU men's basketball and football all over the country. He even has the map to prove it. The 6-year tradition started small but has grown into a full-on fan frenzy.
I had a friend wanted to go to a road game. We picked the game at the University of Arizona down in Tucson, went down there, saw a lot of great people, a lot of new traditions, new campus, and found that games outside of Provo were a lot of fun to go to.
Fly, drive, run, or even hitchhike, the man that wants to be known as BYU's #1 fan will do anything to show his support for the Cougars.
Tried to get on flights, and all morning they said, you won't be leaving here for a day or two, and walk outside, and there was 3 of us, and off we go for a 600-mile drive with Muhammad and his rice import business.
Norton says it's the intense game day atmosphere that keeps him filling his frequent flyer card. He also enjoys visiting new places and meeting new people along the way. No matter whom the Cougars face on the road, they can always look to the stands and find a familiar face, decked out in white and blue, cheering them on.
And Sean and Brianna, you can check out more about this story on our website at 11news.byu.edu. I have a link to Preston's blog where you can follow him as he follows the Cougars.
I'll take his place.
Yeah, he gets to travel all over the place.
Pretty amazing.
I wouldn't mind going some other places besides the kennel.
Definitely.
Wasn't the most fun trip. not when we lose, at least.
Definitely a little rough.
Well, we're ready to pack up and come back to Cougar Town for tomorrow's game, tomorrow afternoon. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Brianna. Let's hope BYU can bounce back against Portland tomorrow on Senior Day. And come cheer on the Cougars at their last home game of the season. Tip-off is at 4 p.m.
When CougTube returns, Cougar Collaboration, the team behind the team, the marketing moves that make the Marriott Center magic.
Pink Perception. See why Breast Cancer Awareness Month means more than just pink shoes and jerseys for one BYU athlete. Stay with us.
At BYU basketball games, the event is much more than just watching the game. CougTube's Kyle Pettit went behind the scenes with the athletic marketing team. Kyle, it seems like a fun job. What else does it take to put on such big events?
Well, Brooke, if going to a BYU basketball game isn't enough fun for you, maybe at the game you'll prove to be sharper than a cheese grater. Hit a half-court shot to win an iPad too, or get your groove on with the good old chicken dance.
So how does this get filled like this with activities like this? From basketball to soccer to volleyball, the event is more than just what we see on the court.
A lot of what goes into the women's game happens days before the game. And then come game time, we get all the prizes ready. Just a bunch of different things that make the production of this event go a lot smoother.
The marketing team puts countless hours into each game. During their 9-to-5 job, their workday is anything but normal.
Every day I come to work, it's completely different, depending on what games are going on that week or what we have. It's just always something fun.
But every sport is different. At men's basketball, raw energy fuels the activities and promotions. At women's basketball, it's a much more cozy atmosphere.
I think having intimate fans is sometimes a little bit more powerful sometimes because you get to meet them. And
the marketing team begins promoting even before the season starts and continues all the way through their senior night. There are no timeouts and no off-season.
Because you're right there by the energy, and you get to contribute to what that energy is for the home team, so it never gets old.
Everyone on the marketing team, from the director to the interns, plays a vital role in helping the world get to know BYU. So this Saturday, when you go to the men's season finale against Portland, pump your arms for the flex cam, pucker up for the kiss cam, but really just cheer extra loud for your Cougars.
I know I've been practicing my half-court shot. I'd like to win an iPad.
Good luck.
Thanks, Kyle.
The women's basketball team played their final home game of the season last night against Santa Clara, and the Cougar seniors would not be denied. Senior Danny Peterson got the women started off with this rebound and putback. She ended the night with a double-double, 11 points and a career-high 13 rebounds. Later in the first, Kristen Riley gets a pass from the wing, and she finishes this easy one in the lane. Haley Steed, nothing but net on that, Jay. She ended with 9 points and 11 assists, making her BYU's all-time single-season leader. Off the bench, Jennifer Hampson had a big night. She puts in that layup and ends with 14 points. Jimmer Fredette cheering on the women and his fiance. In the second half, it was all BYU. Kristen Riley finishes that one. She joined the 1,000-point club and led the Cougars to an easy breezy 84-57 victory. Universities across the nation recognize the fight against breast cancer by playing in pink games in all types of sports. But as CougTube reporter AJ Swart would find out, this year, being tickled pink is personal for the BYU women's basketball team.
Transcend the game and tackle life's bigger issues. Last Saturday, BYU women's basketball team donned pink-trimmed jerseys, shoelaces, and hoodies to celebrate Pink Day. It was a chance to recognize those battling cancer. College basketball has been greatly impacted by cancer with the loss of coaching greats Jimmy Valvano and Kay Yao. But BYU is no stranger to cancer with survivor Alexis Kafusi.
You know, having the whole cancer ordeal last season and having to end the season early, it just means so much more to me and everyone out there that has cancer, that we're doing this game for those people.
8 BYU teams participate in a cancer awareness game, but when one of your own is actually diagnosed with a cancer like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a team's perspective changes.
As somebody who's been a big part of your team ends up having cancer, you really kind of understand it a lot better.
For Cougar basketball, Pink Day is a chance to bring awareness to an issue, but for Alexis, it is the game that returns the favor.
It's just great that I had basketball to work towards.
Like countless other cancer victims, Alexis continues to defy the odds, and that's something worth cheering for. At the Marriott Center, AJ Swartwood, CougTube.
Alexis is averaging just under 6 minutes per game this season as she continues to regain her strength, but her fight is far from over. She'll begin another round of chemotherapy at the close of this season.
The men's volleyball team felt right at home after 2 hard-fought matches against the Cal Baptist Lancers last weekend. The Cougars fell behind early in the game to give the Lancers the 1-0 lead, but senior All-American middle blocker Futi Tavana added 5 huge blocks, while senior outside hitter Rob Stoll finished with a match-high 16 kills to end the game with a win. Sophomore sensation Taylor Sander is still on the bench, unable to play because of a broken hand, but BYU had no problem putting the Lancers back in their chairs to give them a run for their money. The Cougars finished the weekend beating Cal Baptist in both matches, making their overall record 10-3. Up next, the number 3 ranked volleyball team will host number 12 UC Santa Barbara tonight and tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Smith Fieldhouse. The basketball teams aren't the only ones finding a challenge in the new conference. The baseball team made its West Coast Conference debut on Thursday against undefeated St. Mary's. The Cougars fell on the road 7-2. BYU took the lead early on 1-0, but the Gales rallied for 7 unanswered runs over the next 6 innings, and the teams will continue their 3-game series today at 3 p.m. Mountain Time.
And the BYU softball team is California dreaming as well. They're down south playing in the Cathedral City Classic. Right now, the Cougars are playing number 1 ranked Florida, and it's 3-0 Florida in the 5th inning. The Cougars were 1-1 in the games they played yesterday. They'll play 14th ranked Texas A&M later today and finish with a game against Long Island University at Brooklyn tomorrow.
When CougTube returns, done deal. The game that determined who won the Deseret First duel and what it means for the Cougars.
Reynolds Wrap, one BYU star, is packaging the pancakes for NFL scouts this week. We'll be right back. The women's tennis team is hoping to bounce back this weekend from their loss against Wisconsin last Friday. The Badgers started the match winning the doubles point after 2 victories. BYU battled back with senior Megan Price and freshman Morgan Anderson both winning their singles matches. It all came down to the match on court 4 with junior Aubrey Paul. The match went to 3 sets, but Paul lost in the 3rd and Wisconsin stole the win. The Cougars are serving up a month of on-the-road competition starting today at Washington State. The last time these teams faced off, the Cougars in red came away with a victory. This year, the Netters in blue are looking to pay back the Pumas from Pelousas. The men's tennis team is on a roll. The Cougars on a 3-game win streak and have swept their last 2 opponents. BYU dominated Air Force and set in the win over the Falcons. The Cougars' next victim is Denver. They take on the Pioneers in Colorado tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
It's one of the most heated rivalries in college athletic history, one that's not dominated by either side, but fueled by the warrior spirit of the Utes and the fighting tradition of the Cougars. CougTube reporter Miranda Montgomery tells us why beating the Utes is still a Provo priority.
Legend has it the rivalry began in 1890s, and even that's disputed. The first game ever played between the two schools ended in a scoreless draw and a fistfight of massive proportions, creating what we call the Deseret Duel. The duel includes 12 different NCAA sporting events, all working together to earn their school the ultimate bragging rights. This year, the men's tennis team sealed BYU's victory for the 3rd consecutive year after beating the Utes in a match last week.
We really get up for the match when we play Utah. I think we just have to do that every year and just really be ready because they're always ready. It's a big rivalry.
Avid Utah fans insist they're already doing what it takes to reclaim the title next year.
Because we moved to the Pac-12, so with all the revenue that comes from football, be able to improve our facilities and everything. So just with all of that, probably improve all of our sports teams.
One thing that hasn't changed since 1890, any competition between the Cougars and the Utes will be a fight to the finish. BYU campus, Miranda Montgomery, CougTube.
Skipping home with this year's dual title doesn't mean the rivalry is over. Softball, baseball, and women's tennis still will compete for the trophies and, of course, for the chance to say, we beat the U.
With spring football just weeks away in Provo, BYU All-American offensive tackle Matt Reynolds is spending this week running, jumping, and lifting his way towards making his NFL dreams come true. Reynolds made one of the plays of the year for Cougar football in the Armed Forces Bowl. Cougar fans everywhere were buzzing about this helmetless pancake block to save Riley Nelson's bacon.
Trying to throw the block on
Reynolds is one of 2 Cougars who are invited to the NFL Combine, where pro football scouts measure, weigh, push, pull, test, and time the cream of the college football crop. Matt's performance this week will go a long way towards determining where his name will be called in the 2012 NFL Draft. This June in New York, defensive tackle Loni Fengupo is also taking part in the Combine. And the BYU football team will be seeing red in 2015, and it won't be in Utah. Athletic Director Tom Homo announced the Cougars will play the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, Nebraska in the 2015 season. The Huskers Memorial Stadium is known as a cathedral of college football and seats over 81,000 fans. Nebraska is one of the most storied football programs in the country, winning 5 national championships and being home to 3 Heisman Trophy winners. They have finished in each of the last 3 seasons ranked.
There is a ton going on this weekend in Cougar sports. Women's basketball is making the trip to Spokane to take on Gonzaga tomorrow. The game tips off at 2 p.m., 3 Mountain Time. Let's hope they have better luck than the men did. And the men's and women's tennis, baseball, and softball teams are also on the road this weekend. Men's basketball will host Portland in the Marriott Center for their final home game of the season at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Men's volleyball and gymnastics are also at home this weekend.
When CougTube comes back, pre-game predictions. We're getting closer to winning the Cougar.
And take advantage of this sunny weather because we'll be going back to winter gloom in not too long. 11 game time weather when we return.
Lydia, I'm not going to lie, I know a lot of snowboarders and skiers aren't happy, but I am loving the sun.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside right now, and those slopes look so inviting. It is sunny, it is warming up, although be careful if you do plan on hitting the slopes this weekend because we're still in an avalanche warning for the backcountry and areas that are outside of any of the ski resorts. So right now outside, sunny, it is about 37 degrees right now, and it'll be warming up to about 45 degrees later on today. Wind speeds are calm, and what happened is the winds yesterday kind of pushed that gloom and doom away from us, but it's coming back. So this is what's happening over our part of the state. So clearing out, the wind cleared out these storms here, but this guy here is coming down, and he's going to be hitting us probably about tomorrow afternoon. So in southern Utah for the next couple of days, here's what's coming up. Sunny today, sunny tomorrow, warming up to 64 degrees tomorrow, and then cooling down a little bit, tapering off as those clouds come in, possibly some rain later on during the rest of the week. And then up here on the Wasatch Front, it's a little bit more iffy, zigzaggy if you want. Beautiful today. It'll get up to 50 degrees probably up tomorrow, but that will taper off after the rest of the day, and that's when the clouds will probably start coming in. Rain, possibly even snow. Cooling down, back up, back down, and by Tuesday probably a little bit of snow. So that's what we have for northern Utah. And then on Saturday, 4 p.m. in the Marriott Center, maybe a little bit of rain or snow later on, but probably not. So that's what we have coming up. Good luck to the Cougars going up against Portland. That's what we have.
Thanks, Lydia. Last week, that other school from Kentucky, Murray State, dominated our WCC sister school, St. Mary's. Murray State moving up in the AP polls. I think Lydia was the only one that missed that win, but everyone got the point for BYU over Santa Clara. So this week, we're looking at BYU, Portland, Missouri, and Kansas. That will be the big game this weekend. Number 3 Missouri at number 5 Kansas. E-Man, Missouri.
To me, you know what? I've voted against Missouri so many times. They've always proved me wrong. So it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
It'll be a good game.
It'll be a really good game.
I'm feeling Kansas at Kansas.
I got to go for my home state. I can't go against them.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
That's fair enough. I mean,
BYU at Portland.
BYU Portland, that's a big game for BYU. They need to finish the season off strong. I mean, Portland hasn't really put up that big of a fight in past games, so I think BYU will take that one.
I think it will be an easy one as well.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely.
But they do need to come out and play strong the whole game, because if they come out soft, they could blow it for themselves.
That's true, and especially against that. I mean, without Noah Hartsock, if he plays or not. But I mean, without Noah Hartsock scoring, he puts up 17 points a game.
True.
That's huge.
Thoughts on BYU at Nebraska in 2015?
Well, my thoughts are that my son will probably play in that game. It's so far away. I mean, I don't know. It's a great thing, though. I mean, I'm stoked for it.
I'm excited as well.
It's a beautiful stadium. It was hard to look away from the screen when that stadium was up there. It really is the cathedral of college football.
No doubt about it. And I mean, that's just a huge game for BYU. It's just like you said. It seems like every week they're announcing more and more schools that they're going to play, and it's getting more and more exciting, isn't it?
I think Nebraska will be a big deal for us.
Yeah, I think Nebraska will be a really big deal.
But really, all I care about is that it's going to be 64 degrees this weekend. That's really the biggest thing on the table.
Pull the short out. Well, that's Coug Tube for Friday, February 24th.
If you want another look at the stories we did today or to share with your friends, check out the Coug Tube section of our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon, and go Cougs.